September 29th. You know what that means? Yes. I was somehow able to pre-order an SNES Classic, and today I can finally go pick it up. I'll get it back here. We're going to do a first impressions and unboxing and play it a little bit. So, let's get started. Alright, let's get this thing open. Ooh. Oh, it comes with a poster. Open that up later. Wow. This really is small. Let's see what else we got. We have two wired controllers. The cords are about 6 feet long. That's quite an improvement from the NES Classic. Those cords are about 3 feet long. We have an HDMI cable, which I don't need, I already have one. A USB cable, so this thing gets its power from USB. Now, my receiver actually has a USB port on the back that can provide up to 1/2 amp, which is enough for this. So I won't even need an adapter. I can just put this back in the box, plug this straight into my receiver. So yeah, you just have HDMI and USB. And then on the front, pull this back, it's just on a cheap little plastic hinge. I would recommend just leaving it open so it doesn't get worn out. So let's look at the controls on this. You have a power switch on and off, and then you have a reset switch, but this reset switch does something very differently than the original SNES. On the original SNES, they actually reset the console. You go back to it's like turning the power off and on. But on here, it takes you to the home screen that lets you change games, that lets you do save states. So that's one criticism of the SNES Classic, is you have to physically get up and hit that reset switch to do that. You cannot do that from the controller itself. If controllers, here it is, it's the full-size controller. It looks basically identical to the one that came with the original SNES, which is great. You get the same feel, the same, tactile feel of the buttons and the bumpers up top. Yeah, the cord, let's take a look at how long the cord is. I'm about 6 feet tall, so if I just kind of lower it down. Okay, so it's probably actually 5 feet, not 6 feet. Yeah, maybe just a little bit over 5 feet. So if we go to my living room where I'm going to put this, right next to my Apple TV 4K, I just put this on the ground, take it over to where the box is going to be. So yeah, I mean, I can see why they were pushing the wireless controllers at the game store. That's still something I might get, but I can pull up a chair, just sit on the floor. I mean, that adds to the nostalgia factor, right? All right, guys, let's go over the setup again. I'm gonna have the SNES hooked up to my receiver, which is hooked up to my TV. I have an HDMI cable here, ready for the SNES. Now, to power this, it uses USB. It comes with a USB adapter, but instead of using that and tying up another outlet, I'm going to connect this USB port to the back of the receiver. It has one just for power, and then run this over. And here it is, all hooked up. So we have USB, HDMI, and then this is my Apple TV. I have HDMI and power. So that goes here, and then to get to the SNES Classic, we go to HDMI 2. All right, the moment of truth. Here's the light. Okay, so it looks like I need to set the language. Here's a menu. all 21 titles. Now, it's worth saying that in order to get to Star Fox 2, you have to beat the first level in Star Fox 1. Gotta play the classic. So this is a frame I set around the original aspect ratio, which you can select. Quickly touch on what I said earlier. So let's say I want to play Kirby's Dream Land. Well, I can't get there unless I go up to the console and hit that reset to get back to the menu. So just be aware of that. Kirby's Dream Course. Alright guys, well this has been my first impressions review of the SNES Classic Edition. I will say this is much more playable and much more interesting than the NES Classic. The games are so much more developed. You can actually play it more for gameplay than just nostalgia factor. You have your save games, you have your save states, you can rewind and redo hard parts if you want to. And yeah, I mean, it's very modern, it plays well with new hardware. All I'd say is it would have been nice if they allowed some way to expand the game selection and add games like, Pilot Wings they left out and, stuff like that. But as it sits, I'm very happy with this thing. I think it's going to be a lot of fun at some parties and having friends over and just playing by myself. So yeah, this has been my first impressions review of the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. Thanks for watching.